In the frigid forests of the north, where the howling winds speak of ancient tales, there lurks a creature so terrifying that it has haunted the minds of indigenous peoples for centuries. The Wendigo, a malevolent spirit that embodies greed, insatiable hunger, and the darkest aspects of human nature. But what happens when folklore crosses into reality? This is the chilling story of the Wendigo, a creature that has cast its shadow over lives, leading to real-life tragedies and unexplained disappearances in its wake. The legend of the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a prominent figure in Algonquin folklore, often described as a gaunt, emaciated creature, with skin stretched tightly over its bones and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. According to legend, the Wendigo was once a human who succumbed to cannibalism in a time of starvation and despair. In the cold wilderness, when survival meant consuming the flesh of another, this act turned them into a monstrous being, forever cursed to wander the forests in search of more victims. The legend serves as a cautionary tale, warning against greed and the loss of humanity. Elders would tell stories of those who ventured too far into the woods, never to return, consumed by their own desires. As the legend of the Wendigo grew, so did its influence, seeping into the cultural consciousness of the indigenous peoples of North America. The psychological effects. The story of the Wendigo goes beyond mere folklore. In times of crisis, especially during harsh winters when food was scarce, fear of the Wendigo took hold, impacting the mental health of communities. Reports of individuals displaying extreme paranoia or engaging in violent behaviors during these times often led to whispers of the Wendigo's influence. In the early 1900s, the phenomenon known as Wendigo psychosis was documented, where individuals believed they were turning into the Wendigo. These cases involved intense cravings for human flesh, leading to acts of cannibalism. Medical professionals found it challenging to separate the myth from the psychological realities faced by those in dire situations, creating a tangled web of fear and survival instinct. The unsolved disappearances. As the Wendigo legend persisted, so did the tales of missing persons in the north. Some families would vanish without a trace during hunting trips or winter travels, prompting fear that the Wendigo had claimed them. The unexplained disappearances haunted communities, with some attributing these events to the supernatural. One of the most chilling cases occurred in 1940 in a remote area of Manitoba. A group of hunters, well prepared and familiar with the wilderness, went missing during a hunting expedition. Despite extensive search efforts, they were never found. The locals speculated that the Wendigo had taken them, their screams lost to the icy winds of the north. The modern impact of the Wendigo legend. In contemporary society, the Wendigo has transformed into a symbol of the struggles faced by indigenous communities. Issues such as mental health crises, substance abuse, and poverty are often linked to the haunting nature of the Wendigo legend. The creature embodies the darker side of humanity and reflects the struggles faced by those living in isolation and despair. Today, the Wendigo serves as a reminder of the importance of connection, community, and the dangers of losing one's humanity. Documentaries, books, and films have explored the Wendigo's lore, blending the line between fiction and reality, and continuing to keep the legend alive in popular culture. A chilling account: the disappearance of the Williams family. In the winter of 2002, the Williams family, consisting of 4 members, set out for a weekend camping trip in the remote forests of northern Minnesota. They were experienced campers, familiar with the area, but as the first snowstorm of the season hit, they became disoriented and lost. After failing to return, family members alerted authorities. A massive search was launched, but the wilderness proved unforgiving. 3 days later, a search team found their campsite, but the family was nowhere to be found. Only their belongings remained. Food untouched, tents standing, and no sign of struggle. As the search continued, eerie stories began to circulate about the Wendigo. Some locals believed the family had encountered the creature and been claimed by it. The chilling legend added an unsettling layer to an already tragic situation. The investigation and its challenges. The investigation into the Williams family's disappearance faced numerous challenges. Search teams combed the area for clues, but the dense forests and harsh winter conditions hampered their efforts. As days turned into weeks, the hope of finding the family dwindled. Local law enforcement struggled to explain the sudden disappearance of an experienced family. Investigators spoke with local indigenous leaders, seeking insight into the Wendigo legend. They pondered whether the legend could provide answers, or if it was merely a reflection of the community's fears. As the investigation progressed, it became apparent that the Wendigo was more than just a tale. It was a manifestation of the unresolved pain and fear within the community. The legend intertwined with the realities of survival in the wilderness, blurring the lines between myth and truth. The search for answers. Months passed, and the search for the Williams family continued, but no concrete leads emerged. Locals began to share their own experiences with the Wendigo, recounting stories of strange encounters and feelings of being watched while in the woods. One hunter spoke of an unsettling experience where he heard disembodied whispers in the trees while tracking a deer. He described the feeling of being stalked, unable to shake the sense that something was lurking just beyond his sight. These encounters echoed the fears associated with the Wendigo, reinforcing the idea that the legend was deeply rooted in the psyche of those living in the north. As the winter thawed, rumors of the Wendigo spread through nearby towns, drawing more visitors curious about the legend. The Williams family's story became part of the lore, a cautionary tale of what happens when one ventures too far into the darkness of the woods. A closer look at Wendigo psychosis. To understand the psychological implications of the Wendigo legend, it is essential to explore Wendigo psychosis. This rare condition, characterized by an intense craving for human flesh, has been documented among some indigenous groups. Instances of cannibalism attributed to Wendigo psychosis serve as a stark reminder of the thin line between survival and madness in desperate times. Throughout history, cases have emerged of individuals exhibiting signs of this psychosis, leading to horrific outcomes. These events are not merely legends, but rather deep-seated fears that have manifested in real life, illustrating how folklore can influence mental health and behavior. In 1920, a man in the northern woods of Canada was reported to have attacked and killed a fellow hunter, claiming that he could hear the Wendigo calling to him. The incident shocked the local community, leading to discussions about the psychological effects of isolation and desperation. The haunting legacy of the Wendigo. The Wendigo legend has become a symbol of the struggles faced by indigenous peoples in the modern era. It represents the fight against the darkness within, whether it be addiction, mental health challenges, or the consequences of colonization. The tale of the Wendigo serves as a reminder to confront one's demons, rather than succumb to them. Today, indigenous storytellers and artists draw from the Wendigo legend to express their realities and resilience. The folklore evolves, reflecting the ongoing struggles and triumphs of indigenous communities, while also serving as a bridge between past and present. The search continues. Despite years of searching, the fate of the Williams family remains unknown. The legend of the Wendigo continues to cast its shadow over the area, with whispers of the creature reminding locals of the thin veil between survival and despair. The family's disappearance remains unsolved, fueling the belief that the Wendigo's grip extends beyond mere folklore. While some continue to speculate about the supernatural aspects of the Wendigo, others focus on the human stories intertwined with the legend. Each disappearance, each haunting tale, adds depth to the folklore and the shared experience of those living in the North. Reflection and closure. As the documentary comes to a close, we reflect on the intertwining themes of fear, survival, and the human experience that the Wendigo legend represents. It's a story of the wilderness and the depths of human nature, urging us to confront the shadows that lurk within. In remembering the stories of those lost to the Wendigo's shadow, we honor their memories and the communities left behind. The legend of the Wendigo lives on, a testament to the power of folklore in shaping our understanding of the world around us. Thank you for watching this episode from The Lures of the Past. If you enjoyed this journey into mystery and intrigue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when our next tale from the past goes live.